South Park destroys Meghan and Harry with savage mockery. That was the headline that reignited a media frenzy as clips from the infamous Season 26 Episode 2, the worldwide privacy tour, resurfaced across social platforms. The episode, originally aired in February 2023, wasn't just a parody. It became a cultural scalpel, dissecting the very essence of Meghan and Harry's public persona with brutal precision. In the episode, South Park introduces the Prince and Princess of Canada, thinly veiled caricatures of Harry and Meghan, who travel the world demanding privacy, while simultaneously orchestrating media spectacles. Their fictional book, titled "Wah," a clear jab at Harry's memoir Spare, sets the tone for an episode filled with relentless mockery. From plastering "We want privacy" slogans across every city they visit to organizing privacy parties that disrupt quiet neighborhoods, the satire was unapologetic. Meghan's character is branded with a fake influencer title, sorority girl, influencer, victim, while Harry is labeled the royal prince, world traveler, victim. The message was clear. South Park wasn't just making fun of the couple, they were indicting the hypocrisy of victim branding in the fame economy. Perhaps the most savage moment was the thinly veiled reference to Harry's infamous frostbitten incident, exaggerated into an absurd scene of Harry pantomiming self-pity, much to the audience's collective cringe. But what started as a satirical episode in 2023 has now resurfaced with renewed intensity. Recent rumors of a new South Park episode mocking Meghan and Harry in 2025 have gone viral. Online forums, Reddit threads, and speculative YouTube breakdowns are ablaze with claims of an upcoming sequel episode allegedly featuring Meghan wielding a victim card, unlimited use, and Harry promoting a fictional Spare 2 in increasingly exaggerated displays of melodrama. Yet official sources remain silent. South Park's Season 27 trailer, released just weeks ago, makes no reference to the royal couple. The showrunners are focusing on other cultural phenomena, politics, streaming wars, and corporate DEI strategies. Longtime fans know South Park rarely rehashes its targets. When they hit, it's usually once and decisively. Still, the noise refuses to die. Even though the 2025 episode rumors lack credible backing, the fact that they've gained such traction speaks volumes about the lasting impact of that single episode from 2023. Meghan and Harry's caricatured image from the worldwide privacy tour has transcended television. It's become a meme, a shorthand for public skepticism towards celebrity victim narratives. In many ways, the public is no longer waiting for South Park to strike again. The show has already sealed Meghan and Harry's place in pop culture satire. But what the public hasn't realized is the real story isn't about whether South Park will mock them again. It's about how a single episode has already defined Meghan and Harry's brand in the meme economy, perhaps forever. When the worldwide privacy tour aired in February 2023, it wasn't just another South Park episode, it was a scalpel aimed straight at Meghan and Harry's public narrative. Critics lauded it as brutal satire at its coldest cutting, through the carefully curated image of a couple pleading for privacy, while simultaneously thriving on global attention. The reaction from Meghan's camp was swift but subdued. Reports suggested Meghan was upset and overwhelmed, though she allegedly refused to watch the full episode. Meanwhile, a spokesperson dismissed the idea of potential lawsuits as nonsense, a sharp pivot to avoid inflaming the situation further. But the media didn't let it slide. For weeks, headlines screamed of royal humiliation, portraying the episode as a public relations disaster for the Sussexes. Commentators debated whether this was the cultural moment where the tide of sympathy definitively turned. Meghan's narrative of victimhood was no longer seen as bulletproof. It had become meme material. The irony was glaring. The couple, who once weaponized media scrutiny to reposition themselves as victims of a ruthless monarchy, were now mocked for victim branding their way into multi-million-dollar deals. South Park's satire distilled public frustration into 22 minutes of relentless mockery. It wasn't mean-spirited, it was surgical. Every slogan, every exaggerated gesture, every privacy party in the episode mirrored a public sentiment that had been brewing under the surface. Yet even as the dust settled, South Park's creators did something telling they didn't follow up. No statements, no defensive clarifications, no sequel promises. They let the work speak for itself. Fast forward to 2025, and speculative whispers of a new South Park episode mocking Meghan and Harry are surfacing. Reddit threads, YouTube leak, analyses, and sensational tabloid headlines claim a sequel is coming, featuring Meghan flaunting a victim card, unlimited use, and Harry bumbling through promotions for Spare 2. But here's the tension: no credible source has confirmed any of these rumors. The official trailer for South Park Season 27 makes zero reference to the royal couple. Trusted insiders and longtime fans know that South Park rarely revisits the same satirical targets unless the cultural moment demands it. Once the satire lands with a decisive blow, Trey Parker and Matt Stone move on. They don't repeat the punchline, they don't need to. Yet the persistence of these sequel rumors reveals a deeper layer of tension. The public's obsession with seeing Meghan and Harry mocked again speaks more about their cultural position than South Park's content strategy. The episode from 2023 didn't just ridicule them, it defined them. The couple's brand, once built on carefully crafted narratives of victimhood and reinvention, had been reduced to a meme that needed no further elaboration. Whether South Park airs a sequel or not is irrelevant, the mockery is already immortalized. But as fake leaks and unfounded rumors spread like wildfire, the real question emerges: does South Park even need to mock Meghan and Harry again, or has one episode already done irreparable damage that no PR strategy can undo? For weeks, rumors of the new South Park episode targeting Meghan and Harry have swirled across social media. Reddit threads dissect alleged leaked scripts. YouTube channels promise insider confirmation, and tabloid headlines scream of a sequel packed with fresh mockery. But here's the twist: it's not happening. Veteran South Park fans already knew. The show, infamous for its razor-sharp cultural critiques, rarely targets the same subject twice. When Trey Parker and Matt Stone decide to satirize someone, they hit hard, they hit once, and they move on. It's a formula as old as South Park itself. The rumors of a sequel episode mocking Meghan and Harry were clickbait fueled by public obsession rather than actual production leaks. South Park's Season 27 trailer released officially focuses on entirely different cultural targets: streaming wars, corporate DI chaos, and political absurdities. Nowhere is there a trace of the royal couple, and yet the mere belief that South Park should return to mock Meghan and Harry again is telling. It reveals a public yearning to see them dragged further into the realm of ridicule. But why? Why do people believe Meghan and Harry are still fair game? Because the worldwide privacy tour did something more permanent than just parody. It codified Meghan and Harry into the meme economy. It stamped a satirical caricature so potent that the couple's every move since is viewed through that lens of absurdity. The episode's slogans, "We want privacy victim card," unlimited use, and the mockery of Harry's memoir titled "Wah-ah" did not fade after the credits rolled. They became fixtures in meme culture, invoked anytime Meghan or Harry made a public statement or launched a new project. Every podcast appearance, every Netflix docuseries, every branded product line, South Park's framing of them as influencers trapped in a self-made victim complex continues to echo. And that's the real twist: South Park doesn't need to mock them again because the audience already has. Every meme shared, every snarky YouTube reaction, every Reddit post mocking Meghan's latest privacy crusade is a ripple effect of that singular episode. South Park handed the public a satirical blueprint, and the internet ran with it. Cultural commentators are beginning to recognize this shift. Meghan and Harry's relevance in media has become less about their actual actions and more about how those actions are perceived through the satirical filter South Park cemented. A media analyst recently summarized it best: South Park didn't just parody Meghan and Harry. They weaponized public skepticism and crystallized it into a meme that outlives any new episode. The rumor mill's desperation for a sequel isn't about new content. It's about a public desire to reaffirm what they already believe: that the couple's brand is inseparable from the satire that once mocked it. The true power of the worldwide privacy tour wasn't in its punchlines. It was in its longevity. South Park didn't merely roast Meghan and Harry, they defined the lens through which the public continues to view them. But the far more chilling realization is this: Meghan and Harry's cultural brand might now be trapped in a South Park punchline forever, where every future attempt at reinvention is filtered through the meme economy that already decided their fate. As the rumors of a new South Park episode fizzle out, a more profound realization takes hold. South Park doesn't need to mock Meghan and Harry again. The damage has already been done. Media experts now argue that the worldwide privacy tour episode transcended parody. It effectively branded Meghan and Harry's public persona into a permanent satirical archetype. They aren't just celebrities anymore. They've become living memes, a shorthand for performative victimhood and self-inflicted media spectacle. The internet doesn't need fresh material to mock them. Every time Meghan launches a new brand initiative or Harry releases a new memoir segment, the public reflexively references South Park's caricatures. Terms like victim card, unlimited use have evolved beyond the episode. They're now cultural currency. Gifs of Meghan holding imaginary privacy placards flood social media every time a new project surfaces. The Wah-og mock title of Harry's memoir has outlived its original context, used sarcastically anytime Harry makes a public statement. The cruel genius of South Park's satire was its efficiency. In just 22 minutes, it distilled years of public skepticism into a digestible mimetic framework. They didn't just mock, they defined the narrative filter through which Meghan and Harry would be seen indefinitely. Every PR move the Sussexes have made post-episode has intentionally or not reinforced that caricature. Meghan's lifestyle brand, as ever her curated content series, even Harry's ongoing advocacy projects are no longer judged on their merits alone. They're judged through the lens of, Is this another privacy tour? One media theorist explains when a brand becomes a meme, its original intent no longer matters. The audience consumes it through the meme's framing, not the brand's message. And that's the dilemma Meghan and Harry now face. It's not that South Park will continue to mock them, it's that the public has internalized the mockery so deeply South Park doesn't need to lift a finger again. The satire has achieved cultural immortality, embedding itself in the way audiences interpret the Sussexes' every move. There's an eerie irony in this. Meghan and Harry left the royal family to control their narrative to escape the suffocating grip of British tabloids. Yet they now find themselves ensnared in a satirical narrative far more pervasive. The tabloids needed fresh scandals to stay relevant. South Park's satire, however, is evergreen. Each time Meghan attempts a rebrand, whether it's through a heartfelt podcast or a new product line, the internet reverts back to the same visual, "We want privacy." And perhaps the most brutal twist is that the more they try to break free from that image, the deeper they reinforce it. Every public appearance feels like a continuation of the privacy tour narrative, not a departure from it. Even insiders within the entertainment industry have quietly admitted that the South Park episode has made brands more cautious about partnerships. Not because of the couple's content, but because of the optics, the fear of being caught in a meme narrative they can't control. This is the true climax of the Meghan and Harry versus South Park saga. The show didn't just mock them, it redefined how the world sees them. Permanently. And as the Sussexes push forward with their next projects, a haunting question lingers. How do you rebrand when satire has already defined your brand better than you ever could? As the dust settles, it's clear South Park didn't just mock Meghan and Harry. They sealed their public persona in satire. What began as a single episode of brutal humor has evolved into a cultural prism. Every public statement, brand launch, or advocacy effort by the Sussexes is now filtered through the worldwide privacy tour narrative. They no longer control how audiences interpret their moves, South Park does. In the age of meme economy, that's the ultimate power. For Meghan and Harry, this presents a chilling reality. They left the royal family to regain control of their story, but in trying to build a brand of authenticity and victimhood, they walked straight into the crosshairs of cultural satire. Now, their public identity isn't shaped by PR teams or carefully curated interviews. It's shaped by a 22-minute cartoon that refuses to fade. And it's not just the public that's watching through this lens. Industry insiders, brand partners, media networks, streaming platforms are wary of the optics. They're asking a dangerous question. Is this a genuine project or just another privacy tour moment? Yet within this satire trap lies a sliver of opportunity. If Meghan and Harry can acknowledge the meme, confront it head-on, and rebuild with transparency, there's a path forward. The public loves a redemption arc, but it requires an admission, a breaking of the fourth wall they've been avoiding. Otherwise, every move they make risks being seen as part of a performance they no longer control. So where do we go from here? South Park may never produce a sequel episode, they don't need to. Their satire has achieved narrative permanence. The real question now isn't whether Meghan and Harry can avoid the mockery, it's whether they can outgrow it. Do you believe Meghan and Harry can rebrand and reclaim their narrative? Add team rebrand possible? Or has South Park's satire permanently defined how the world will see them teaming forever? Drop your verdict in the comments. Team rebrand possible. They can evolve beyond the satire with a bold reinvention. #teaming forever. The privacy tour meme will follow them forever, no matter what they do.